If you're someone who doesn't like speaking to people you've never spoken to before, or you get nervous about speaking in a foreign language, then this video is for you, because I'm going to talk about how you can actually be comfortable with speaking to people in the language you're learning, even if you're not particularly good at it, even if you're nervous, and even if you don't actually know the person. So make sure you pay attention and stick around to the end for a bonus as well. But guys, I was at work recently, and I think I've written also mentioned that he was extremely Italian, but I was at work and someone I saw that I was about to speak to, I could pretty obviously, without being disrespectful, I could tell that he was Italian. He was just extremely Italian. He was quite short. He was very red. He had a chain on and his shirt over. And so I was like, okay, this guy's definitely Italian. And he actually dropped in conversation that he was Italian, and I speak Italian. So I said to him, "Di dove in Italia lei è?" Which is, from where in Italy are you? And I'm not the best Italian speaker. I don't have the best accent. I think that was particularly bad, me saying it just then. But I spoke to him anyway, and we had a conversation about where he was from. He was from Calabrese. I have no idea where that is. I just know it's a place. And yeah, we had a great conversation. But I realized afterwards that a lot of people, even if they were 3 times as good at Italian as I was, and they were in that position, they just wouldn't have said anything, even though he literally said, he said something like, "We do this in Italy." I think he was making a joke. He had a very strong Italian accent in English, so I couldn't actually fully understand. I could understand him better in Italian than English. But a lot of people wouldn't even talk to him because they'd be so scared of making a mistake, so scared of offending someone, so scared of seeming overconfident in their abilities, and they just wouldn't do anything. And another thing I'll add is when I actually spoke to the guy, he said some of the stuff he said in Italian I also didn't quite understand, simply because he spoke, I think he assumed that because I didn't say, I wasn't nervous, I didn't go, "Oh, I'm learning Italian." I just asked him, where are you from in Italy? I think he assumed that I was Italian, even if I wasn't particularly good at speaking, and so he kind of just launched into it. And I didn't understand some of what he said, because probably like a sentence or two of what he said, the whole thing, simply because he was talking so fast with an accent strong that I wasn't good enough to understand what he was saying. And that would really frustrate a lot of people. So the reason I'm making this video is to, one, show you that doesn't matter, and two, actually give you the confidence to talk to people and not to be afraid when you're speaking in a foreign language. So the first thing I'm going to say is a lot of people get imposter syndrome. If you haven't heard of imposter syndrome, you've definitely had it before. It's basically when you feel like an imposter, you feel like you're not good enough at something. So, for example, you might feel afraid to speak to someone in a foreign language you're learning, simply because you don't think you're good enough at it to speak to them. You're worried that you're going to seem arrogant or overconfident or a liar or a fraud, or you just think you're going to embarrass yourself or make a mistake or offend someone on accident in a foreign language. All of that stuff kind of comes under imposter syndrome, and it's very, very common with people learning foreign languages. So what I want you to understand when you're speaking to someone in a foreign language is you could not offend them, unless the problem would have to be with them if they got offended. So when you're talking to someone in a foreign language, just be honest and act to your limit. So I've never in my entire life gone up to someone and spoken in Italian and said, "Oh yeah, I'm fluent in Italian, I understand." I've never gone up to someone like a complete dickhead and said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to understand everything you say because I'm so good at Italian," because that's obviously not true. I've never even been to Italy. I can speak it, but I'm not perfect. So I would just be honest when he asked, he said to me, "Where in Italy is your family from?" I took that as a compliment. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on myself. Maybe I did speak it quite well. But I told him my family's from Australia. I don't have any family in Italy. And that was just me being honest. I'm not going to lie to him and say, "Oh yeah, I've been to Italy 10,000 times," because I haven't. Like, it's once you actually hear someone else tell you this, you probably feel a lot better, and you probably feel like you're being a bit stupid before, because it's so chill to speak to someone in their native language. You're not pretending to be better or anything. You don't have to be perfect to speak in a foreign language. Like, you've probably had tons of people speak to you in English and they don't speak English very well, and sometimes it's a little bit funny, I guess, if they say something that's not correct and it sounds a bit funny, but like, who cares? That's the worst it'll be for you. You'll say something that sounds funny, so what? You put a smile on someone's face. And the other thing is just to act to your limit. So if you don't know how to say something, just say in the foreign language, "I don't know how to say that." That's probably one of the first things you should learn. Or you can say it in English, because presumably they also speak English. And if you're worried to speak to someone you don't know, just remember, you'd be surprised, because you normally make someone's day. If you imagine you were in a country where nobody spoke English and someone attempted to speak English to you. I remember I was in Japan actually last year, and a Japanese person came up to help us because we looked lost, and we were lost, so that was very kind of him. And he asked if we were from America, because I think whenever you're in an Asian country and you're white tourists. They just say, "Oh, are you American?" Because that's probably where most of the people are from. And we said, "No, we're from Australia." And he put on an Australian accent and said, "G'day, mate." And it was the funniest thing. We weren't laughing at him; we were laughing with him because he had the confidence to say that, and it was absolutely hilarious that he attempted to say that, and he actually said it quite well for someone who obviously didn't speak English perfectly. So I think you would be surprised when you do try and talk to someone in a foreign language. You will actually make their day. And not that you should do this, but even if you said something stereotypical about your country, like how he said "G'day, mate" in a very deliberately strong Australian accent, a lot of people would actually find that hilarious. We found it funny. Maybe don't try that if you're in Moscow or something. You might get stabbed. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like, just you can be a lot more forthcoming than you actually think you can be. And another thing I will say is put it off for as little as possible. The more you think about it and get in your own head, oh, should I go up and talk to that person? The harder it's going to be, because the more you think about it, you're kind of subconsciously telling yourself that there's a danger element, and the longer you put it off for, the more you're telling your brain, okay, this is dangerous, this is risky, and the less likely you'll be to do it. If you just launch into it straight away, you build the habit of doing it, and you'll realize it's not actually that scary. And if you don't know what to say, just say to them in English, "Oh, you have a lovely accent. Where are you from?" I think I talked to my doctor yesterday. I didn't actually ask where he was from. I just asked him where in Italy he was from. Turns out he was from Spain, because his last name was Guerra, which means war in Italian, but apparently it also means that in Spanish. And yeah, it wasn't awkward at all. He understood what I said because it's a similar language, but it wasn't awkward at all. If I had asked where you have a lovely accent, where are you from, he would have just told me he was from Spain. So yeah, it's not a big deal at all. There's no reason to be afraid. But guys, that is the video. If you stuck around to the end, I am actually offering right now a completely free bonus call with anyone who wants it. If you're struggling learning a language, or you just want to talk about language learning, how you can improve your language learning skills and learn faster, hit me up in Discord or comment down below, and I'm happy to jump on call with anyone. But guys, that is the video. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.